Papa, I wanna you can hear me say, Papa, I wanna you can hear me say, all the things we wanna say inside this land. So people won't die for before you understand. We all got children going to school. Market woman is selling their goods. Yeah. Let it be great. No noise. I never seen no peaceful protest in this land before. Even my papa and my old man and tell me it never been before. To all the leaders in this land, take your problem and talk it like me. Going up from heaven to make you understand. Because Paratana, no school. Paratana, no work, nothing to do. Paratana, GSF up in the rapping it. Investors they say they rapping it. People they get something they call experience. Let's keep this piece alive. Keep this little piece alive. Yeah. Let's keep this piece alive. Keep this little piece alive. Oh yeah, Papa, I wonder you can hear me say, oh, Papa, I wonder you can hear me say. All kind of people talking, say the country bread new. I pray the people to fire the people with thunder and leg new. We all are trying to move ahead. Some people say we might not get there because confusion can butter their bread. If I go tell myself, jump inside the streets. Anything happen to me, my family will grieve. If I go tell myself, jump inside the streets. Something happen to me, you and your family will leave. Because Paratana, no peace. Paratana, no everything free. Paratana, with me and looting with beer, killing and shooting with beer too. Let us learn from the past. Let's keep this piece alive. Keep this little piece alive. Yeah. Let's keep this piece alive. Keep this little piece alive.
Hey, Sticky the Italian.
Papa, okay. I wonder you can hear me say, yeah. Papa, I can check. I wonder you can hear me say,
Knocking the door for peace, don't even stop it. You are tired of a war, let us invite peace. No fighting, no undermining. Keeping the peace in a nice surrounding. Yo, don't let you hear when people say they want to demonstrate. When I got no money, they won't get feed the benefit. You see the people suffering, tell me now what is the benefit? So my people say no to violence, demonstration, all that thing, and I cook our motherland. That you rock. One day we gonna prosper, keeping the peace in the city and every villages. Nobody, man, I can't tell you something negative. Politician, qualification, we can work together using multiplication. Okay, united we stand, no more division. That hold hands together to save the motherland.
Keep this piece alive. Keep this little piece alive. Yeah. Let's keep this piece alive. Keep this little piece alive. Oh yeah, Papa.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Lieutenant Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. We woke up this morning to some relatively sad news that the Russians and the Belarusians have been barred from playing in Wimbledon. Politics and sports have come together. Because of the war in the Ukraine, and the devastation perpetrated against the people of the Ukraine by the Russians, the officials of the Wilmington Tennis Federation in England, or London, wherever it is, have come together and decided that as part of the stance against Russia and the Belarusians, they will bar their athletes from performing in the Wilmington Games. So the question now is, if they're going to do this during the Wilmington Games in London, what about the US Open? Will the same thing be done here to them? What about French Open? Will it be done there too? Only the shadow knows. But for us in the United States of America, we are not exposed to what's going on in Europe as the Europeans are. So for us to really interject ourselves into it, knowing that this war is unjust, knowing that the atrocities in our country against the civilians are war crimes, we have to take a stand. We have to take a stand and ensure that the war ends now. So I guess I support the officials running the Wilmington Games in Britain. The more sanctions, probably the more sooner this war will come to an end. We also know that the federal government has notified the judge of an appeal of the judge's decision to overturn the mask mandate that was currently in place. We know that yesterday or day before yesterday, a federal court judge overturned the mask mandate, shut it down, and everybody was happy. But the federal government did not appeal right away because they wanted a reaction of the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. So the CDC has acted now and has requested that the federal government appeal the judge's decision in order to keep the mask mandate in place. Because we're still in the era of the pandemic. There are various variants of this disease popping up. Right now in China, cities are locked down. Shanghai, that has one of the biggest seaport in the city, locked down. And because of that, this might lead into a world crisis. With 44 or more cities locked down in China right now because of the pandemic. There's a problem with unloading the ships at the dock. There's a problem with the ships just sitting there and having nobody to unload them. There's a problem with the ships not being able to go to other parts of the world and make deliveries of these goods. Right now, the World Medical Foundation is threatened because those ships sitting in the Shanghai harbor have medical supplies on them for people in the world who need them. And they can't move because Shanghai is locked down. And this is going to lead into a world crisis sooner or later. So this is where we are with all of this. And the federal government now has notified this judge that they're going to appeal the mask mandate overturn. because the CDC is saying that we must have the mask mandate back in place because they do not know the impact of these various types of variants that are popping up because of the pandemic. And we have to take heed and govern ourselves accordingly. And one of the major means of assuring that we are safe from this pandemic is to wear the mask. So the federal government is going to appeal. They already notified the judge of their intent to appeal. So maybe sooner or later we will be back with the mask mandate. Okay. The third thing on my international news list is Mariupol in the Ukraine, the port city of Mariupol, that has 120,000 people in there, civilians that need help. This is the port city that Putin wants to overtake right now. He has made it clear that he's going to overtake it. And in that city, these 120,000 civilians are hiding in a weapons shelter or weapons factory or something. And there's word out that Putin intends to bombard that building. So President Zelensky is calling on the world to intervene. We need to get these people out of that building, out of Mariupol, because it's going to be overrun by Putin and his troops soon. We know the amount of atrocities that we have seen perpetrated against civilians during this war. Many of it amounts to war crimes. But we can't do nothing about it right now as long as this war is being perpetrated against the people. The people need our help. We need to stop the bombing of Mariupol so these people can get out. 120,000 people, that's not a small amount of people. There's news already out that so many people have died because of war crimes. We need to help these people. And our own Liberian man, Tolly Cry, is in Boston there, according to the newspaper, encouraging Liberians to get involved with the plight of the Ukrainians because they have been instrumental in helping us too. So this is where we stand so far. Before I take a break, my coffee break, let me just go over my topics for this morning. And my topics for this morning are: 1, violence, murders, lawlessness, order of business in Liberia today. 2, Counsellor Tiawan Gongloe speaks on President George Weah's rapidly acquired wealth. And 3, Buduburam refugee camp Liberian community in Ghana. Those are my topics for this morning. So let me take a break and I'll be right back. Yes, I'm right back. So my first topic for this morning: violence, murders, lawlessness, order of business in Liberia today. Let's take a minute and listen to Mr. Henry Costa. He's the podcaster of the Costa Show, and he spoke about the autopsy on his show of the late Miss Princess Cooper, and how the government's interpretation of this report was a lie. Let's just take a few minutes and listen to Mr. Costa. Go.
We need to wait and see that. Did I tell you we have Princess Cooper's medical record from March the 30th?
The one that got from the clinic?
Yes.
Internet.
Why? Oh God, the internet is doing something stupid again. Oh my God, in Liberia, clearly not in America. We have Princess Cooper's medical record. I don't know whether you people know, but we have it. And so Princess Cooper had gone to the hospital, to the clinic. She had gone to the clinic and she was seen by a doctor. And they ran a couple of tests on her. Are you listening? And this record is as recent as March 30th. March 30th. That's when Princess Cooper went to a clinic in the community where she lives. And the clinic did a number of tests. And Princess Cooper we have the medical record here. They diagnosed Princess Cooper with something called acute respiratory tract infection. Somebody says it is a big name for sore throat. They prescribed a number of antibiotics for Princess Cooper. They did not find one trace of TB. Hello. Princess Cooper went to a local clinic. Normally, we would not be discussing the medical records, but sometimes it becomes necessary. So let me open it up here. It's a 2-page document. So Princess Cooper went to a clinic called New Community Clinic. New Community Clinic. And the medical report, name of patient, Princess Cooper. And we can publish this, but it's a medical record. That's why I was a little hesitant as to whether we should publish it. But now that her whole life is out there, I mean, her whole dying and everything, her life itself that she lived before being struck by this unfortunate situation. It's all out there. So I think I have to put out there so you all can see it too. So sex of patient, female, age of patient, 25 years, address of patient, St. Paul's Breach Community, clinic registration number 1178-22. The date, March 30th, 2022. The above named patients visited the new community clinic located across St. Paul's Breach Community, Lower Virginia, Monterey County, on March 21. Okay, she actually visited the clinic on March 21. On March 21, 2022, at 12:46 May Day, with a complaint of non-productive coughing and fever for the past 2 days. Are you listening to Princess Cooper's medical report? She visited the clinic on the 21st of March, 2022, at 12:46 May Day, with the complaints of non-productive coughing and fever for the past 2 days. On arrival, the patient was seen fully alert, conscious, and in no form of distress. On arrival, the patient was seen fully alert, conscious, and in no form of distress. The patient's vital signs on arrival were as follows. Blood pressure, 110/72 mmHg. Pulse rate, 86 beats per minute. Respiratory rate, 18 circles per minute. Temperature, 36.0 degrees Celsius. Weight, 68 kilograms. This is a medical record. We got the medical record, medical report of Princess. Now, you understand this. So, to get it. Physical assessment reviewed during the following. Skin, appropriate, untouched. I don't know what that means. Head, normal cephalic observed. Eye, pink, conjunctiva with anesthetic sclera. My people, you're going for me. What was the diagnosis? At the end of the day, okay, so they ran a number of tests. Her neck, supple, with no distended neck veins, and not rigid or flaccid. Her lungs, crepitations heard on auscultation with no wheezes. No wheezes. Eh? No wheezes. None. Okay, that's a good sign. We know what TB can do. TB can call wheezes. TB does that. But this one here, they said no wheezes. ABD, full and soft with no mass felt, no tenderness on palpation. EXT within normal limit. Last normal menstrual period, February 25, 2022. Laboratory investigations. Malaria smell, negative. The hemoglobin, 13.0 G. I mean, hemoglobin, her blood was good. Hemoglobin, she had good blood. You know, she had a lot of, she was okay. Okay. White blood count, 14.6. Pregnancy test, negative. Diagnosis. After all those investigations, then they go to the diagnosis. Acute respiratory tract infection, ARI. This is what they said Princess Cooper was diagnosed with. ARI. Acute respiratory tract infection. Somebody told me, a big brother of mine, whom I trust, he said, that's a big name for sore throat. What about you, the medical practitioners on here watching? What is acute respiratory tract infection?
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's one aspect of the violence in our country. Let's see this. I hope this can come up so we can see it, man. Oh, pardon me. Let me get this up on this side. I got to go into this screen to do that. Pardon me. Okay, let me go into this screen. This was a recent incident before.
Don't even know how to describe them. Leaving my house this morning on our community road. Some guys that can do these Lone Star Mini and Orange Mini for sale, and they pass around the community with their megaphone. One of them, he was passing around, and then some kids on the Oracle S13 or whatever how they come and said, babies with collars until they stopped that guy on the main road on our community road there in Kalano. They beat him up and people started running, neighbors were running away, they couldn't go there. They beat that guy up, they took his phone, they took his megaphone, they took the money that was on him, they grabbed him, and they said, nobody can do anything to them. And they walked free to pass the community. The women from the community came with their lappers and they took him, they tied his head, and they started bathing him, taking the blood and things for all on him this morning. So the group from Kalano, they said they can't take it. They're all in the place looking for it. Now the S30 kids came on the road, they're all on the street with collars and things. Right now, directly opposite Jubilee. They take the street with collars. With collars, you see? They just took. The people cast and say, oh God. This is happening all road directly opposite Jubilee Church, between Kalano Hotel and Jubilee Church. Bring the key. Let me bring the key and you help me to get it up there. Easy get. What is it get me help my car key? You get a student key? This country, before 2 years from now, the kids are between the ages 18 to 25. They will take over this country with the police. In fact, 2-person call, you see, they catch the one with the colors on. It's not so cool. Oh. You see? Liberia. Oh God. Oh God.
This is just to show the extent of the violence, the murders, and lawlessness that seem to be going on in Liberia. Even as I speak, we don't know what's happening in our country. Every day people dying. Every day people getting raped. Every day we got news of some abnormality in our country. This is not normal. Everybody's saying the same thing now. I've been saying it's not normal. Now we're all singing the same song. This is not normal. For a functioning society, a wholesome, functioning society, this cannot be normal. Every day, some kind of stealing. Every day, some kind of murder. Every day, some kind of violence. Every day, some kind of unnatural situation in Liberia. This can't go on. It can't go on, my people. We have to take heed and govern ourselves accordingly. We got to govern ourselves. We got to hold this government accountable. We got to stand up and protest. We got to protest because when things are not going right, when the government cannot explain to us what's happening to all these deaths, what happened to all this violence and all these people doing drugs in our country, all these young children not going to school, all these children have no lives. What's happening in our country? Something's wrong. We sat down for too long. We've been afraid for too long. We can't take it. We cannot continue to take it. People must be held accountable. People must answer to us for what's happening in our country. We cannot continue to sit supinely and watch all these things go on and be afraid of being tear gassed, of being afraid of being locked up because the government refused to give us permit to protest. No. Enough is enough. Every morning, listen to this young lady who are talking how the youth are taking over our country. When something happens in our country, and instead of turning to the police, the people run to their houses and take cutlasses and sticks and knives and run in the street to retaliate. That is mob violence. And it's not good for our city. It is not good. That means the people cannot trust law enforcement. Listen to the woman on the tape. The police in the vicinity refuse to appear. The police in the vicinity, the detachment that are responsible for that area refuse to show up because their lives would have been in danger too. What's happening to our country, man? This is not a normal way of life. We saw the other day people demonstrated for Mr. Johnson. Was that Mr. Johnson? The kid that died on Johnson Street? I can't remember his name. Well, he died on Normal Street because of mob violence. They beat that kid up for motorbike business. Because somebody said he wanted to take the motorbike or he wanted money or some kind of foolishness. They jump on the boy and beat the boy to death. And there has been no recourse to that. The government said they arrested some people the other day. We have not heard about that since that day. So where is the law and justice in this country? In the absence of law and justice is lawlessness. Is violence in a wholesome, functioning society. Where is it? Everybody just doing everything they want to do. It's not right. It's not right. We must hold people accountable. We must hold people responsible for their actions. We must jail people because the time of the Liberian people is now. We cannot continue to place our people's lives and safety in jeopardy time and time again because we got to stand up and put people in jail. We got to put people in jail. We got to let people know we got laws and order. We got rules and regulations. We got procedures that govern our wholesome functioning society. And anybody who violates these things or run aside of them or astray from them must be brought back to the fold. Their actions must be rectified and they must be punished. The time of the Liberian people is now. So that's what I got to say on this topic. That's just what I got to say on this topic. Even though we know that the family wants an autopsy and they're going to get it, Henry Costa, who just spoke, said the family has been assured that the president will pay for it and all of that. But what about the other families? What about the other rapes? What about the other crimes that perpetuated every day, even as I speak? What about those crimes? Those people have nobody to speak for them. What's happening in Liberia? We got to stand up for justice and truth and rightness and correctness and freedom. We got to stand up, man. Don't let it come to your door before you feel hurt. No, you know it's wrong. Stand up for it. Stand up for it now that you know it is wrong. Don't let it come to your front door and be knocking you on the head before you be begging people to help you and you won't stand up. No, you know it's wrong. It's not right. It's not conducive. It's not satisfactory to a wholesome functioning society. Why let it perpetuate? We have a responsibility to our community. We have a responsibility to our society. We have a responsibility to our children who are the future of our nation. And if we fail them, we fail flat. The time of the Liberian people is now. Let me take a break and we'll come back to deal with my second topic. But the lawlessness, the criminality, the murders, the violence must stop in Liberia. We are a better people. We are a far better people. And we must begin to demonstrate that we understand this thing and we will accept it as our lot. That we are, in fact, a far better people. In the cause of the people, let the struggle continue. We're back. And I'm back. Okay, let's talk about Counsellor Tiawan Gongloe. and his speech at his district, I think our district 17, his speech the other day somewhere, yesterday or day before yesterday, that garnered a lot of questions for this president of the Republic of Liberia, George Weah. How you get all this wealth, George Weah? What is the source of your wealth? Gongloe wants us to know. He wants to bring to our attention that this president got rich too fast, and we must monitor him. Because according to the code of conduct, he was supposed to release to us a declaration of his wealth. But he went and declared it, then he refused to publish it. So we don't know what George Weah got. The code of conduct says you should publish it. They said they want to publish it, but they can't make it public. They publish it, but they kept it secret. They hid it. Then the guy began to lie to us. Here's some of George Weah lies. George Weah been buying all these properties, jet, all these things have been lying to us. He bought a jet. He said our friend gave it to him. We all know about that story. Now they're squeezing. The jet is sitting down there now. He's using it. No president in our country ever owned their own private jet before. But you can't blame him because Tottenham owned a ship too. And our port were always on top of that. Always on top of it. I'm sorry, on Tottenham. Our port were always on way on Tottenham for his yacht that he bought. And Tottenham, they used to press and put over because Tottenham was all powerful, man. Tottenham ruled for 30 years. Who could stop Tottenham? Aberport. Tottenham used to put Aberport in jail. Aberport used to walk around with his briefcase and clothes into, because when he go to jail, he would have clothes to change. Because Tottenham was always jailing him for stalking. And Aberport refused to shut up. He refused to shut up. He said, jail me, I will talk. Jail me, I will talk. But he wasn't a real existential threat to Tottenham, or as Tottenham were eliminated him. I think Tottenham liked Port, just to have him there to be talking his political language and all of that, inciting a few people. But he wasn't a real threat, or as Tottenham were eliminated him. But Tottenham kept putting him in jail, locking him up here and there. So just like Tottenham, George Weah went and bought it by the jet. The poorest country in the world. At least during Tottenham time, we have money. But now we ain't got money, but we got jet. He took a barrage of properties accumulated and constructed following his ascendancy for the sake of promoting accountability and transparency in keeping with the public right to know in the Constitution. That's why Attorney Gongloe, who is also a former president of the Liberian Bar Association, Counsellor Gongloe is currently running for president of Liberia also. He's he's the leader of the Liberian People's Party, LPP, Liberian People Party. So that's all of that about Gongloe. He's a well-known man. He's been around since October time. He's been speaking out and going to jail and speaking out since October time. So we all know Tiawan Gongloe. So he comes on and says that this man got getting all this property in such a short period of time. He said right after George Weah became president in 2018, George Weah started building duplexes. Massive duplexes. Where did he get the money from? Nobody knows. All George Weah money from his football era, he blew it up. But when he became president, he started building duplexes again. Okay? What's it that he built several duplexes? Then he demolished his house on 9th Street and built a mansion. A mansion, you hear me? Then he lied to us that this guy, George Weah, is just a damn liar too. He lied about the airplane to us that his friend gave it to him. When he built his house on 9th Street, he told us that his son, Timothy, who's playing professional football in America, built it for him. Then when the Liberian people squeezing, he got his deputy press secretary and Smith to come and lie and tell us the truth. I mean, not lie. He had to tell the truth that was George Weah property. So here we are now. The stealing goes on. George Weah wants to run for president again. Tiawan Gongloe saying this man is not fit to run for president. With all the stealing and corruption going on, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. And this guy take over our country again, our country will die. Not only is he stealing, everybody around him stealing. The wealth of the nation is getting missing. But yet, George Weah still won't be president. He doesn't want to give up and go. He knows that he can't handle this situation. He knows that he's incapable of leading this nation to a better state. He knows that the people around him are just as incompetent and corrupt and greedy and nasty as him. So why is he still keeping it? Instead of leaving our people, they're killing people for ritualistic powers. And our president cannot speak on these things. They can't speak on it. People die, the government come and say they love us. It's fair play, no foul play. And these same criminals who we accuse, like St. Moses, Finneran man, they take him and give him more job, put him in those special places. So this is where we're going, man. This is where we're going. Our country is in trouble. Our leadership is incapable to protect the people and lead us to a better era. For someone else to go home, it's scary. How can we go home? How can we go home? We don't know. We don't know. We've been away for so long. We don't know some of the things going on in the country. We hear about it, but we don't really know the intricacies of these issues and matters and things. We don't know about it. So who you going to trust? Every day we hear people dying, you will be another number among all those people. So this is it for now. A second topic. Let me take my break. And but Tia Gongloe is right. George Weah cannot just accumulate all these properties, build mansions all around us, and we have no record of this man's wealth or what he has according to the law of our country. So Tiawan Gongloe say under the constitution of the Liberia, he has a right to want to know where the president get all this money from, to want to know how you finish your money when the football era, you were broke running around here. Now all of a sudden you building all these duplexes, you building all this mansion, you got all these cars and things, and not only you, all your friends and buddies around you. When will our country ever recuperate all this stolen wealth? The time of the Liberian people is now. So let's listen to my people on Buduburam camping. Let me take a break, come back, take my coffee. I'll finish with this topic now. Let's listen to the chairman, the young CEO of the Chesson, Friends of Chesson. Let him tell us what's happening on the camp for this morning. Okay? I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Now let's talk about my people on the Buduburam refugee camp in Ghana. My Liberian community, my own people. You know they started their classes, their orientation yesterday. Today they're supposed to be doing something, tomorrow something. Fridays, they're supposed to receive their aprons and everything, and they're supposed to go to school. I think today they're supposed to finalize the buying of all the equipment. Then they will do a breakdown of the classes because I told you there were too many students applying now. So we'll find out later how many class students they got the next time we talk with them. But the first day they had 25, they registered them. To start, people were calling, so they decided to do an orientation on Thursday and Friday. On Friday, they'll get all of them the aprons and things like that. Then the next week, they start the class. That's how it is. So let's go to Mr. Roland Sonjoloka, who is the young CEO of Friends of Rodney Chesson. Let him tell us what they're doing this morning over there.
Okay, good morning, viewer. This is Roland S. Yoga, the key patron for First Religious in Ghana. Only thing I want to say this morning, I want to say big thank to all the sponsors around the world who make our train to come to today in Ghana. Honorable Chesson, thank you so much. This one morning, we have the orientation for 3 days. Monday, Thursday, and Friday for orientation. Tomorrow we'll be sharing the apron with the student. Yeah. Today the ballon stuff for the baking will be purchased today, such as flour, sugar, milk, and egg will be purchased today. Tomorrow morning we'll be scheduling the student. We'll have the 2 sessions of baking. Yeah, we'll get the afternoon, get the morning session. Tomorrow we'll coordinate tomorrow the staff and the student tomorrow meet about 8 o'clock tomorrow. Ghana time in the morning time. By 8 in the morning, we'll coordinate the position, a very position, maybe you fall in the morning session or you fall in the afternoon session, you know why you belong for your class. And tomorrow will be the big program tomorrow. We'll call it part of school jam program. Yes, we'll be part of tomorrow for Friends of Religious in Ghana. We'll be doing sharing April tomorrow, we'll be sharing the April with the student tomorrow. Will be a big day for all tomorrow. You can see there's a key picture. Roland S. Loka as a key picture of Friends of Refugee Chesson in Buduburam Refugee camp in Ghana. So Roland Loka, the only thing I want to say this morning, I think Almighty God, thank you this morning to see this beautiful day. That's the key picture for Roland, for Friends of Refugee Chesson in Ghana. I say thank you. In our common language in Ghana, I say thank you. Thank you so much for your support. See, we appreciate a lot. Let me God continue to bless you to help us to the camp. Thank you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Roland Sonjoloka, who is the CEO of Friends of Rodney Chesson, Buduburam Refugee Camp, Liberian community in Ghana. He told you what all they're doing this week, how they started the class, how today they're going to finalize buying all the supplies and equipment for the school, and tomorrow they're going to have the orientation party where they will divide the school up into morning and afternoon sessions, and the school will meet the teachers. The student will meet their teachers because they started the class day before yesterday, Monday. Today is Wednesday. They started on Monday, wherever it was. Don't get me wrong. They started on Monday, and there were 25 students that showed up. No, Monday was a holiday. They started on Tuesday. There were 25 students that showed up. After they saw the supplies and equipment, people started calling, want John. So we say, okay, don't let us start the school because we started school, the first class going through, we're not accepting anybody else on the second class come through. So let's do another orientation, which is, we wanted to do it today, but they postponed it to tomorrow so we can take the day to buy all the supplies and get everything. So that way Mr. Roland Sonjoloka is all suited up, ready to go buy supplies, and he and the cook, the bakers and everything. Then tomorrow they're going to have the orientation party where they will finalize all the students' listing and they will separate them into 2 classes, morning and afternoon classes, and they will meet their baking instructors and talk with them, and they will get everything started. Then they will divide the apron. They will have apron that all of them will be responsible to buy, and from there we'll go on with the party and the school opening next week. So we want to thank, like Roland Son Joloka said, we want to thank our sponsors wherever they are. We want to thank all you people and ask you to send us more money because we finished with the baking part of the building now. We got another school building that is in deplorable condition. We got to put wall around it. We got to put zinc. We got to fix the inside. We got to plaster the inside. We got to electrify it just as we did with the other one. We got to paint it. We got to do blah, 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 and get it ready for our sewing and computer literacy class. So that means we got to buy computers. We got to buy different things. And we're looking to our sponsors and asking you to continue to help us because this is an effort from God. Thank you. My class is done. Have a good day. I'll be here tomorrow. Okay? So, take care, and I'll be back.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. We want to say thank you to the family of the late Princess Cooper. We are in solidarity with the family and all well-meaning Liberians who seek to receive justice in this country. All other persons who have died mysteriously. Equally so, we have received the report from the government, the autopsy report. And we are also in line with the family. We are also in line with the family. Whatever decision that will be taken by the family, we will follow suit as a civil society organization, the United Voices Against Injustice. We will maintain that we will remain peaceful in this process. We will remain peaceful and engage national government. We are also calling on philanthropists to come out now. We are also calling on all well-meaning Liberians to stand up to this call. This call of justice is not just about Princess Cooper. The fact that we are not living in peace, which is in the absence of justice, there is no peace. So we need peace, which is we need justice. So when justice prevails, our people will live freely. So that is my statement as a chairperson. We'll move to the spokesperson.
Okay, spokesman, you can just...
Okay, thank you very much. We say thank you to the press. You've been with us in this, and we are not going to rest. We will not sit until this issue is resolved. We are with the family, in solidarity with the entire Liberia. This is not only about this family. The country is concerned. The citizens are not safe. We feel that we're not safe. And until this issue is resolved, we are not going to sit. We will be peaceful as we have always been, and we'll seek all of the means necessary to have Princess and all other Liberians who've been mysteriously killed receiving justice. The autopsy report, we align with the family. It is not acceptable. Thank you.
The mission of doing that is staying in peace. Yesterday I come on church meeting The men come out of reggae wasted from in the security booth. They pull together and say, I don't want to waste the food, so I should go jail. I said, well, I don't waste that food, I will go jail. But all the whole group join me, they tell me jail, they pull the hand on my hand. They are coaching down. I had to go ask me, me say, oh, I had to be you're laying down, I report, they give me, take all my proof from me, report, they give me, he hang on me with the hang on. Yesterday, I mean, I'll fall in Liberia, I mean, I'll pity on the ring. Well, today, they say, tonight, they come and pick me again. They put me in the generator room and the food I get wasting at the Pomala on the ground. Anything that the Pomala, anything that the food get wasted. They put me in the generator room. I think you hear the generator to be.
Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow.